people trying to come to Africa to fix their problems or their issues. That Africa won't heal you. Let me repeat, Africa won't heal you.
Shalom, it's Eddie, back with another video. You saw the thumbnail, you also saw the title. Today, I'm reacting to another video from the Freedom Chasers channel. Really enjoy their channel. I feel like they give a really balanced perspective on the good and the bad about being in Africa, okay? So I really like their channel. I'm gonna have the original video linked in the description, but the video was titled, I believe, 10 Reasons Why African Americans Are Leaving Africa and Never Coming Back. All right, so let's go ahead and actually dive into today's video. If you don't know who I am, my name is Eddie. I'm a 23-year-old American who lives abroad full time. I'm currently residing in the country of Egypt, all right? But let's go ahead and jump into this video.
Is YouTubers selling a dream? So we've talked about this in previous videos, but a lot of people on YouTube tell you all of the positive things and just skip the negative altogether. We try not to do that. When we have negative experiences and we put them in videos, people get in the comments and they're mad. They say, oh, you said this about my country, you said that. But we're trying to be realistic for people that want to come here and not tell you that it's just a cakewalk if that's not the case.
Yeah, it's not.
Now, this concept of selling a dream is something that I talk about a lot in my past videos, and I call it similar to like a unicorn. People are like, hey, there's this beautiful island with a unicorn on there. You can go here, it's easy to go here. You can see it, you can ride the unicorn. If you touch it, it'll give you magical powers. But they never actually talk about what it takes to actually get to this island with this unicorn on it, right? They don't say you gotta go through alligator infested waters and a snake pit, and then you gotta walk through a valley of fire, and they don't necessarily tell you all of the ultra intangibles, as I call it, about, you know, moving to this, going to this island to see this unicorn, right? And so they say the dream about how beautiful Africa is, how peaceful it is, how cheap it is, how this it is, and da-da-da-da, but they don't necessarily go and give you the full intangibles. And so I've talked about the unicorn concept in a lot of my past videos, but there's a new understanding that I have around the whole selling a dream concept, and it is that we as a collective, African Americans who have come to the continent, have been fed so much of the bad things about Africa. So it's lions everywhere, and it's no houses, no running water, it's disease, and it's this and it's that. And so when we began to realize the truth, we kind of, as a collective, came to a decision not to showcase the bad, right? But the problem is, and I live in Egypt, so it's going to be a lot of noise outside. We've come to the understanding that, as a collective, that we're not going to showcase the bad in Africa anymore. However, the problem is we've begun to classify reality as bad. And so now anything that is true, anything that is real can be bad, right? And so a lot of these points in these videos are just a reality about being in some African countries.
It's the reason why so many people who do go back to America, you know, if they have YouTube channels, they say overwhelmingly negative things about Africa. But I feel like it's because they walk into it expecting it to be perfect, and then it's not. And you can be prepared.
Yeah, so this is real, this is true. Expectations lead to disappointments, right? If you come to the continent with a false set of expectations, expecting it to be one way and then it comes out to be a whole different way, or expecting a certain level of treatment. I think that's a really big one. Expecting a certain level of treatment or reception, like I'm back home, right? I'm coming back home, and you come back to the continent and you're not received as welcoming as you thought, right? And as we talk about, like, all these other points will add up to you feeling very unwelcome, you feeling very outcasted or shunned or mistreated by a lot of the local people, by the governments and things like that. It can make you feel very unwelcome. And so I think a lot of times when we come, especially because of the selling a dream concept, we have these expectations that are sky high, and then when they're not met, it leads to disappointment, right? You know, they want to monetize off of the trauma that we face in America. We've been in so much pain there that like, Africa can sometimes be a hope for us. Like, okay, there may be a better place. When we have just been beaten down, broken down so bad, we just want to have hope, and we will ignore anything. It's like a love, like you're in love almost. You will ignore any reality that you don't want to hear that makes that hope kind of dwindle. All right, and it'll only change once you once you get out of that honeymoon phase, right? Once you get out of the honeymoon phase of Africa, then you begin to see the truth, the reality, and then you can, make your assessments from there.
And processes to do things here are not necessarily the same as America. So you can have a business in America and you went and filled out the paperwork, or you can get like an LLC online, filling out paperwork online, and then have them just do it. Out here, it's not like that. You have to put in the legwork. You have to know where to go and what to do and what papers you need. And then there's the language barrier in most countries.
Yeah, so this right here is a big one. What's on the books is not what is the law. The law is whatever person you're dealing with that day at that office. Just because the law says any foreigner can get a visa extension for 30 days, that doesn't mean that that's a law, right? The law is if you talk to Frank and Frank says, give me 10 pounds and I will, give me $10 and I will give you 100 days, that's what the law is for that day. If you go to that same office and you talk to Susie and Susie says, I'm not giving you an extension at all, that's what the law is. The law is whoever you're talking to, whoever you're dealing with for that day, a lot of times, from my experience in sub-Saharan countries, right? Maybe even in North African countries, but I haven't, I haven't experienced that yet, so I can't necessarily say, but that's how it is in some countries, right? And also like simple things get complicated. You want to eat cornbread. You can't just go to the store or buy a box of Jiffy, cook it up. No, you have to go get you got to go get the raw items, and then they don't even have the raw item that you want. They don't have cornmeal. You had to go get this flour and this and that. Like there's simple things can get complicated, and this is a big reason why people leave, because it's not just like sometimes I have to go to 10 stores, 5 stores. Sometimes I have to go to a store, they don't have it, I gotta wait 4 or 5 days for them to restock, then go to the store to get the item. It's the convenience factor is lost in countries. And so that's a big contributor to why people are leaving in boatloads, because it's not as convenient.
Yeah, and another thing I wanna talk about is people trying to come to Africa to fix their problems or their issues. That Africa won't heal you. Let me repeat, Africa won't heal you. You come out here, you need to have your stuff together. And I'm not saying that you need to be perfect or that everything needs to be right in your life, but if you think you're gonna come here and those struggles that you have in whatever country that you're coming from, it's not gonna transfer over, you've been sadly mistaken. You will have those same issues, it might be in a different way, but they won't go. This is something internally that you have to fix before you decide you're gonna come here and thrive, So just think about that before.
This is a big one right here. People need to talk about this. You cannot escape your self-image. I hear people hitting me up. I just feel so beat down in America. I feel this way in America. Listen, if you cannot win, whatever you are in America, you will be in Africa. If you cannot win in America, financially, with women, with friends, if you cannot win in America, you cannot win in Africa. Like winners win, losers lose. If you are a loser in America, you have to face up the fact that you are a loser, right? And people don't like to hear reality from this perspective, but you cannot escape your self-image. There are things that you are doing that are causing you to get the results that you receive, right? Look back at my videos when I was in LA. I'm pretty much the same individual now, right? Look back up at my videos in whatever country you go to, like nothing really changes until you change your mindset, until you change your self-image, right? I believe myself and perceive myself to be a winner, right? And because I believe myself and perceive myself to be a winner, all I do is win. But there are some people who are just so negative. People who are just so down. Oh, I got this disease and I had that disease, and oh, life is so hard, and I hate rich people, and that mindset, if you bring it with you to the continent, like you're just going to be in the same position, right? Asking if you're on Section 8 and welfare and EBT in America, you're gonna can somebody donate to me? Let me put up a GoFundMe account. I didn't do Section 8 when I was as a child. You know what I mean? As a child, I did as a child did. As a man, I did as a man did, right? But even when I have people around me, get on EBT, like it's free food, all this. No, I didn't do it. And that's why you don't see me posting GoFundMe accounts. You don't see me posting, hey, here's my, who you are in America is who you're going to be on the continent, right? And so if you are a self-reliant person in America, you'll be a self-reliant person in Africa, right? And so you just have to realize that you have to understand that. There's a saying, everywhere I go, there I am, right? Everywhere I go, there I am. So you're not going to be able to escape your thoughts and your belief set. And so the first thing you really want to do is to change your mindset, change your beliefs, change your concept around the world, or your view of yourself, or what you're capable of doing. There's no reason why you can live in a world with trillions and trillions of dollars and you can't find $1,000 a month to feed and clothe yourself while you're on a continent, right? Like, it's so easy to do, but if your mindset is warped, your reality will be warped as well.
You're going to be overcharged. So you might see the cost of living online and stuff like that, how much the locals are spending, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to spend a lot more than that just because you're not going to pay the same local prices. You know, and ultimately, when it comes boiled down to it, people run out of money a lot faster than they expect to. We actually spend.
Yeah, so like getting overcharged, it happens. You know, I would say I wasn't really overcharged very much here in Egypt. I have, you know, a few incidences where I can say, like, okay, I was overcharged, but it wasn't as if sometimes you don't want to fight. Sometimes you don't want to have to do the fight, so you just say, I don't care, I'll pay the fee. But in Tanzania, it was an everyday occurrence. I couldn't escape it. It wasn't like if I could fight. Like, people didn't even want to negotiate. It was just, this is the price. I know you had the money. You're gonna pay it, or you're not gonna get this product or this service. And so that was definitely a tough thing. Dealing with that, it was a painful thing dealing with that, because it's just like you don't even want to go out your house, because I feel like every time you go out your house, mosquitoes are just there, right? Human mosquitoes that are just like trying to suck the money out of your wallet, you know. And it felt bad towards the end. And I think that plays people that I talk to that are in Tanzania now, that were in Tanzania, they all say the same thing, like that overcharge and that money, just hungriness, greed at some point is a big drawback.
Before, have a little bit of income coming in, because your savings, I promise you, won't last forever. I don't care how much money you have. It's going to eventually run out, and it's going to run out faster than you may expect.
Yo, stop what you're doing. If you are on a mobile device right now, if you're on a computer right now, here's what I want to talk to you about. Here's what I want to tell you to do. Listen, if you are watching this video, you either want to come to Africa or you're in Africa. Simple. You either want to travel or you're traveling. Simple. There's always the have and the have-nots. Listen, if you want to stop watching videos about Africa and start living, you know what you need to do. You know the reason you're not here is because of income. You know the reason you're not here is because of money. It's very simple. Okay? You're making money in the States. You know how to make money in the States because you know how to clock in, clock out. You have a skill, you have a career. Awesome. I'm happy for you. Okay? But you need to learn how to transition what you know, right, in that career to online. You need to know how to make that transition from physical job to online income. I'm here to help you do that. Now, this opportunity is not for everyone. Link is in the description, but the link is also on the bottom of the screen. This opportunity is not for everyone. You must understand that, okay? This is for people who believe in themselves, have money to invest, and are serious about moving abroad. NoLimitEddie.com/opt-in, NoLimitEddie.com/opt-in. I'm going to teach you how you can transition something you know into an online business in the next 6 weeks to replace your job, okay? That way you have the freedom, flexibility to travel the world while earning an income, okay? So if you are ready to trade in your punch card, you're ready to trade in your 9 to 5, you're ready to trade in your career, your salary for an online business that gives you the freedom. And like, not just freedom, like you get financial freedom, but also time freedom, right? To be able to travel the world at will with yourself, with your family, with your wife, with your husband, right? Depending on who's watching. Then you need to click the link in the description right now. Watch a training video that I have for you guys, kind of explaining more about this opportunity, and then book in a time to speak with me, all right? Book in a time to speak with me. Let's talk, let's chat. But let's get back into the video.
Another thing is not being
Alright, yeah, like your savings are gonna run out faster than you think. You know, this is something called Parkinson's Law. I'll talk about it in a lot of other videos, but you're gonna be a new viewer watching this. I'm gonna explain what Parkinson's Law is. It's gonna help you to understand why it doesn't matter how much money you come save with, you will spend it, you will use it. Parkinson's Law says human beings tend to use up all that they have in front of them. So if somebody gives you a plate and that plate is 11 inches wide, and you're going to, and you're at a buffet. Let's say you're at a family, get together. You're at a family barbecue. You're going to fill that plate up. If somebody gives you a plate that's 9 inches, you're going to fill that plate up. There is a certain amount of food that can fit on a 9-inch plate and a certain amount of food that can fit on an 11-inch plate. Regardless, you're going to go fill that plate up, whether it's an 11-inch plate or the 9-inch plate. And you're going to then eat all the food that is on that plate. And so the reason why Americans tend to be bigger and overweight is because our plate sizes are bigger, our portion sizes are bigger, and we're going to tend to consume all that is in front of us, right? Chances are, if you go to a place and you order a meal, you just eat the meal that's in front of you. You're not going to, let me weigh the plate size. And no, you're just going to eat the meal that's in front of you. And so in European countries, when the plate sizes are smaller, people tend to consume less. Why? They're still eating the same full plate, but their plates just happen to be smaller. They're still eating that same Big Mac, but the Big Macs just happen to be smaller. They're still drinking that same drink that came with the meal, but the drinks just happen to be smaller. They don't really have big gulps here in Egypt or in Tanzania. They don't have extra large items. This is Egypt. Let me just keep this part in the video so you guys can see this and hear this. A decent car, you're gonna get a really nice car, right? Like you're just going to match your living to the amount of money you have. That's human nature. It's literally scientific fact. Human beings tend to use up all that they have in front of them. That's why when you save money, I'm saving money to move to Africa. There's always an expense that comes up that takes that money away. If that money wasn't there, you wouldn't have it in the back of your mind that you have the money to spend. You wouldn't be able to spend that money. Take your money, drop it into T-bills. Back to the point before, who you are in America is who you will be in the continent. If you are somebody who gets your tax refund check, if you get those, not everybody gets them. I haven't got it for the last few years, entrepreneurship. If you're somebody who gets a tax refund and you go and you ball out on that, and you go and you get your car, you go and you get new clothes and get a Gucci, if you are that person who's doing that, you're going to do the same thing in Africa. You're going to see that, whoa, my money goes so much farther. You're going to squander it. You're going to waste it. If the government gave you a $5,000 refund and 8 months later you don't have that 5,000 and you haven't multiplied that 5,000, you are horrible with money. And as a result, you will be horrible with money on the continent. You want to focus on getting an income. You want to focus in on getting an income. I know somewhere earlier in this video I talked about that same concept of, taking, I talked about my accelerator program, Thoughts of the Thousand Accelerator, taking what you know, turning it into an online product to replace your job, right? So I talked about that already. Something you want to join, something you want to get involved with, right? Most people came to the think about it. I came to the continent at 21. I only worked a job for around 2 years, right? I wasn't really working 9-to-5 jobs for that long, so it wasn't very much money I could save in that time period. Most people came to the continent with far more money than I had saved up. The only difference is, the only reason why they're back in the States and I'm here is because I have a higher earning capacity, right? I have a higher ability to gain income on a constant and consistent basis. And so you really want to focus on increasing your earning capacity.
Country, if they're really open to people even staying, you could feel very unwelcome if it's not a country that really wants all these people coming in anyway.
Yeah, they would. We've heard stories of immigration making it clear that they don't want you there, having attitudes, right. and I'm not saying it's like that everywhere, but we've heard many stories of it being like that in multiple different countries, and that can be very frustrating for people and cause people to want to leave.
Tanzania, immigration issues. One of the big reasons why I left Tanzania was immigration issues, plus all the other things we mentioned in this video were happening as well. And so I want you guys to know that when you come to the continent and you expect to be treated with respect, with love, and you go to every local store and they don't see you as their brother, they see you as money. You go to restaurants, they see you as money. You go to, you try to hire a housekeeper, a gardener, somebody to perform services, they think of you as money. And then you go to the government buildings and the government is very hostile towards you. The government is literally saying, like I said in the video, like they literally don't want you in their country. They're saying that verbally out of their mouths, right? Not like you could interpret it as, no, they're verbally saying, I don't want you in my country, right? Why are you in my country? What are you doing here? You know, you're hearing, you know, things that are like, whoa, okay, this is interesting. So people, the local people want money from me. The government don't want me in the country. You know, I'm facing, you know, just unpleasant situations. I have notes on here on my phone, so I'm facing unpleasant situations everywhere that I go. You know, and all these other problems that you're having, right? Like spending more money than you thought you would spend. You know, dealing with like the bribery and the law's not the same. These all add up to a very unpleasant experience at the end of the day. And this is one thing that causes a lot of people to say, okay, it's not worth it me being here anymore. I'd rather just, and it begins to make America look good. Like, oh, I mean, if I can do with this, I'd rather go back to America. At least I can get a job. I go back to America. At least if I go to what's the government building that we go to? I don't know. If I go to a government building, you know, you don't even really go to government buildings that much in the States. But if I go to a government building, I'm going to know the law that's on the books. If I go to a police station, the law that's on the books is the law that I'm going to get, right? If I go to a store, I know that the price that I see is the price that I pay, right? And maybe I go to the discount section and get some discounted items too, you know, but it's still gonna have a sticker on it that's gonna let me know the price. And so overall, like, the treatment that you experience on a continent can make you view America as a better place, right? It's an interesting concept. Now, if you're African American who wants to come to Africa, you should know these things. You should get your mindset in order. You should get your self-image in order. You should get your belief set in order. You should get your income in order. And you should follow me, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and yeah, things like that. See you guys in the next one. Y'all willing. Shalom.